Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am one of your hosts, Sarah, and with me is...
My name is Tate, and you are very energized today.
I don't know why.
Too much coffee?
No, decaf.
Decaf?
I had decaf, and I haven't had a soda or anything.
All right.
Maybe I'm just, pumped about weird news.
Weird news is kind of cool.
Weird news is awesome. I can't complain about weird news.
All right, let's see what kind of shows you got going on then. I'm
You're usually so much more chatty, so I pause and wait for you to have some kind of random story or bad dad joke.
I'm afraid. I'm like, okay.
Okay, well, last time we talked a lot about animals, and you said there was too many animals.
It was a little heavy-handed on the animals, in my opinion.
You wanted to talk about something else. So our first story...
It's about squirrels.
It's going to make you wish we were talking about animals.
Okay, I'll be the judge of this.
Okay, so there is a pizza restaurant that has been closed, not because people weren't eating there, but this is Springtown. There's a million Springtowns. Give me a state, people. Springtown, Texas, had to close over a weekend because it was discovered that employees had put laxatives on at least one pizza.
Whoa, that is so not cool.
Yeah, so Springtown Police Department got a call about possible food tampering at a Mr. Jim's Pizza.
First time.
I've never been to Mr. Jim's Pizza.
That's like going to Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, find it on Facebook.
Probably nobody knows what we're talking about.
It's a guy, and he has a barbecue and foot massage business.
And there's that's a weird news story right there. Okay, so not only did this apparently allegedly happen, but in yet another example of people are not always smart. Apparently, one of the employees posted on social media that they were putting Miralax, a brand of laxatives, on pizza.
Wow. And I don't even like anchovies on my pizza.
So authorities said 3 employees admitted to putting laxatives on at least one pizza that ended up being eaten unknowingly by a coworker.
Wow. That's like you're delivering something in 30 minutes or less than that concept.
Yeah. So the employee, this is like the most obvious sentence ever. The employee who ate the pranked pizza got sick. But the other employees, the ones who made the pizza, denied having done it.
Okay.
So,
I have a related story to this.
Oh, I'm scared now.
Yes, this is long years ago. I worked at a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and one of the waitresses brought in brownies.
Oh no.
That were supposed to be, shared among the coworkers. And one of the ladies came to me, that I was younger at the time, and she's like, "Don't touch the brownies." And I'm like, "Damn, I want brownies."
No brownie for you.
And she was like, "I mean it. You stay away from those brownies." And so I didn't get any brownies, but everyone was enjoying the brownies that day. And the manager at this restaurant, he wasn't invited to have any of the brownies. And I saw him, and he snuck back in the kitchen, and he stole a piece of brownie, and he asked me if I wanted some. And he's like, if they're not going to share, I'm just going to take some. And he asked me, and I'm like, nope. That lady was very, forceful on no brownies for you. So I stayed away from the brownies. And I almost said his name on air, but he went and he ate a brownie, woofed it down really quick. Okay, and so what he would do is every time he had a moment, he'd go back and cut off another piece and another piece. And I watched him do it, and he thought it was so funny. Actually, I did too, because he was sneaking and eating the waitresses and everyone's brownies because they weren't sharing. It was a big old sheet of brownies. As the night went on, he started to seem a little weird. His face was flushed, things like that. Next thing you know, he thought he was having a heart attack. They had to call the police. They called 911. He had OD'd. They were drug brownies.
Uh-huh.
And so the whole crew, waitresses, cooks, busboys, they were all getting high while working, while eating brownies. And the only two people that didn't know was the manager and myself, who was warned off to stay away from the brownies.
Did they warn you because they knew that you'd never done drugs or anything like that? Never had a drink?
Right. No, I was one of the youngest people there, and the lady was just trying to be protective. Huh. And I'm glad, because I was so tempted to cut into the brownie and just go, crazy on that bad boy. But I stayed disciplined. He ended up in the hospital.
Oh, that's awful.
He OD'd on brownies. And now I have a weird news story.
You do. Well, just to wrap up the previous pizza ickiness. So the employees who made the pizza denied putting laxatives on any pizza that was served to the public. So apparently this was specifically for this one employee. But that did not stop the health inspector from pulling their health permit and shutting the restaurant down.
I look at this and I feel bad for the owner.
Yes.
When you're looking at a business, and I've had a few friends who have owned restaurants, a lot of times they're minimum wage employees and you're putting a lot of responsibility on them. But the one thing you do not expect them to put drugs in their brownies and laxative in their pizza. And, he lost his whole business and everything his that he's invested. Not to mention, that could be his entire family's income.
Yeah, and this was over the weekend, which I'm sure is when they do the best business.
Yes, and so his business is over because of a childhood prank, and he's in trouble. I feel bad for him, but then if you look at it on the state side of things, they have to protect the public, and so everyone's a loser in this situation, except for the people who should be punished. They're just going to lose their job, which they're going to go to Walmart somewhere and get a job, or Kmart.
Yep, pretty much. Let's move on from that somewhat depressing
story.
Just
made that a really depressing story.
That was really depressing. So let's talk about someone getting some money, not getting laxatives on her pizza. This story is about Stephanie Busby of Stratford, Connecticut, who had been laid off, and she'd been out of work for a while, so she decided to just go with her boyfriend on his bread delivery route one day.
All right, delivering bread. That sounds like a code word for something like.
No, this isn't another.
They're going into delivering bread.
Oh, it's a euphemism.
So, here's the loaf.
She said that while they were out making deliveries, she decided to splurge on a $5 million ultimate scratch-off ticket during one of their stops. She said it was the first time I'd ever bought a $30 ticket. That $30 ticket turned out to be a $100 winner.
Nice.
Okay, so not bad, right? She says, when I won $100, I was really excited. We even did a little happy dance about it. She decided to reinvest her winnings by buying another of the same ticket at the next stop. This time, she says, I just scratched off the barcode area and scanned it in the ticket checker. When I saw the message on the ticket checker, I thought, this can't be right, but it was. It was a $10,000 winner.
Nice. That's a nice one there.
Yeah.
10,000 is not shabby. It's not going to be life changing, but you can definitely pay some bills off.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that was kind of a sweet. It's not exactly weird, but you never know what your day is going to bring.
It's not weird news. It's lucky news.
It's lucky news. Some days you just got to shake things up. Get out of your normal routine. Go deliver bread with your boyfriend. Now, again, sounds like a euphemism.
And how? Yes, it does. It totally does. And I've already told you this story. It actually ties into me. I actually have a lottery story.
Well, let me just bring this up that she was very excited and she got a job offer the same week. So she was having
From the bread company?
No, apparently from her other job searching that she was doing. She just says that she got a job offer. So
It'd have been better. It would have been a much better story if they gave her a job at the bread place.
But this isn't fiction. We can't just make up stories. Now, do you want to tell your lottery story now, or do you want to wait, make people wait till after the break?
We'll be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. We went to break with the teaser from Tate about his personal lottery story. He's like a font of weird news himself.
I'm like,
I don't know.
I was just waiting on how you were going to finish that up. He's a font. I'm like, okay. Weird. When you talk about winning, the weird thing about me is I've never won the lottery ever in my life, but I've known 3 people who have won the lottery.
So basically, you're never going to win the lottery.
Never going to win the lottery.
You already
ever.
know 3 people who have won it.
One was for $40 million that she got. Another one was $6 million, and the other one was like $15 million.
Wow.
And one of the things that I learned from these people is that every one of them, within the first few years of winning the lottery, it just destroyed their families. I mean, one even had a family member that tried to kill them by trying to run them over in a car.
Jeez.
It's crazy what happens. They all ended up kind of miserable.
You know, I've heard that before they've done like specials, or I make it sound like an after-school special, or like just news stories about people who kind of end up miserable after winning the lottery.
Yeah, and I watched it firsthand where if you have a situation, you're like, and one of them decided they were going to give a trust fund for each of the nieces and nephews, and let's say in this particular case, this is not accurate. I don't know exactly how many nieces and nephews it was, but let's say one sister had 1 kid. One brother had 4 kids and another one had 2 kids. Well, the one sister that had 1 kid got upset because she thought that, the one with 4 kids or 5 kids, each family member should get the exact same amount and then divide it up the way they want to. And it just totally split the business apart.
So she thought, as the mother of 1 child, she should get as much as the brother that was the father of 4 children.
Right. So instead of 4, each kid got $100,000
and
per
I'm
kid.
imagining if she gave trust funds to each kid, she probably gave some money to her siblings too.
Yes.
Wow, selfish.
But
people.
it's kind of one of those situations. He got $400,000. I only got $100,000. That's not right. We should all get $400,000 and divide it up evenly.
That's not right either.
It turned really bad. Another one, they had a cousin that had a business plan, and he had already put it together. He was going to banks trying to get funding. He went to his cousin, my friend, and showed her the business plan. She thought it was a great plan, so she decided to loan him the money and become a partner with him to get the business off the ground. That made every cousin that had ever thought of a business come to her and say, hey, well, I decided to start this barbecue and foot massage business or whatever it was. And when she said no, it was like, wait a minute, you gave so-and-so money for his business. Why won't you invest in my business? Destroyed the family. Moral of the story is, if you win the lottery, lie. Lie like you've never lied before and create a fake business and make it like you are doing really well, because if you have a business that is successful, you've earned that money and no one thinks that you have to give it away. But if you win the lottery, everyone expects you to share.
True. Yeah, that is true.
Life advice from the Weird News Podcast.
Maybe we should have that be a segment. Life advice from Tate on the Weird News Podcast.
I like it.
On a totally different subject, vacations. Do you like taking vacations?
I'm a vacation freak. I love traveling everywhere.
Okay, well, a Nebraska-based business is offering to bolster social media pages with expertly faked photos of the user on vacation, on a vacation they never took. So you love going on vacations, but now you don't even have to leave your house.
So you just do a little Photoshop.
Yeah. The company is called Fake a Vacation, which is very descriptive. And they offer packages starting from $19.99 for a service to superimpose the photos of a social media user in front of famous landmarks at popular vacation spots, including Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon, Hawaii, and Walt Disney World.
That is cool and crazy.
The packages also include some facts about each destination to help the customer connect the story of their fake vacation. Do you remember when they, maybe this was just local. When I was in college, there was a store that I remember selling boyfriend in a box.
Well, I was just going to say.
It was like, this was before social media, but it was like a picture of a guy and a backstory and all this stuff about your boyfriend. So that when you went home for family dinner, you had this pre-made story of your boyfriend.
See, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I'm like, I got spinoffs already. So you got the fake-ication, you get the
fake-ication, that's even better.
Then you get the fake boyfriend, or that you met on your vacation, and then we could even do a fake diet. So you go there.
Just Photoshop you looking skinnier.
We Photoshop the thighs a little smaller, the belly a little flatter. Put some muscles on you a little bit, that you've been working out while you're on beat.
In real life.
And then you put on your fake-ication, you got your fake boyfriend, you got your fake body, and you have this fabulous fake life.
Yeah. Wow. Well, the company did cite a survey that suggests more than half of millennials have lied about taking vacations for reasons ranging from last-minute cancellations, the high price of travel, and the desire for social media recognition. I don't know. Come on, this is a commentary on our society right now. If we have to lie about vacations for social media recognition.
Whoa, okay, guilty.
What?
Let me explain. Not for social media, but I have been invited to certain things, certain events, and it's like, man, I really don't want to go to Susie's camel bar mitzvah.
I love a good camel bar mitzvah. Those are awesome. The amount of work it takes for a camel to learn Hebrew.
I know. Incredible. And definitely don't want to go to a camel brisk. But just using that as an example.
He had to go there, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
he had to.
Sometimes you're planning. It's like, you know what? I would love to go, but I'm going on vacation, or I'm going out of town, or I'm traveling on business. I have done that before because I just didn't want to go to that event.
Oh, okay. So then you would need backup.
Oh, no, I wasn't going and putting pictures up or anything.
No,
but
I just meant, but you could. Like,
yes, you could.
They'd be like, how was your vacation? Well, did you see my pictures on Facebook?
No, see, I just stayed away from social media, stayed away from the phone, and just didn't go anywhere just in case someone saw me driving down the street.
So, Susie, if you're listening, he totally lied about coming to your camel's bar mitzvah.
It was a brisk. Or maybe, wait a minute, or maybe they sold brisket.
Well, see, the word is brisk.
I got you.
Okay. Through the headphones, I couldn't tell if you were saying brisk, and then you said brisket, and I was
think maybe I was just saying it wrong, but then it made me think of brisket. Then I got hungry. Then it just went off the rails from there.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a break because this has gone very strange in a direction that I didn't expect it to. We are on the break going to be going to the Bahamas. We'll post pictures of that later.
I like it.
Pictures of me and Tate in the Bahamas. Of course, we could fake anyone. We could just pretend. We could get who would your body double be if you were faking your pictures, since people can't see us.
Oh. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd make it like someone kind of chunky.
Really? You wouldn't do like The Rock or something?
No, because then when you come back, everyone's like, damn, have you seen Tate?
Oh.
And then you come back and you're like this tub of lard, and then everyone's like, what's up?
That was like a little bigger, and then you'd come back and they'd be like, dang, you lost weight.
The
You look
vacation
good, man.
was good for you. It was really great.
Okay,
you
but
lost so much.
These are people that know you. I'm talking about like our fans who have never seen us. We could be anyone, and you just ruined my alternate plan. Okay, on that note, you are listening to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, and we will be right back.
Vacation.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. This music always cracks me up. I don't know why. It just makes me... I'm not really a headbanging kind of girl, but... I don't know. I got nothing on that. Okay, so our next story is hilarious. It comes to us from NPR, and I just need to read you part of it because I cannot tell it better than it is written.
National Public Radio. Just in case anyone doesn't know what NPR stands for.
Wow, thank you. Okay, so the Washington County Sheriff in Oregon says there was nothing unusual about the call. Sure, it was broad daylight, 1:48 p.m., local time exactly, but
okay,
quote unquote, crime can happen anytime.
Yes, it does.
So the frantic call came from a house guest about a burglar making loud rustling noises inside the house, specifically from within the locked bathroom. And this deserved an urgent response, according to Sergeant Danny DiPietro, a sheriff's spokesman. The man had just gone for a walk with his nephew's dog, and when he came back, he could see shadows moving back and forth under the bathroom door, DiPietro says. Resources were immediately deployed, 3 seasoned deputies, one with at least 20 years on the force, a detective who happened to be in the area, and 2 canine offers from Beaverton Police Department, about 7 miles outside Portland. They surrounded the Cedar Hills home, then made their way inside, guns unholstered, and the whole time they were yelling, "Sheriff!" and "Police!" but the burglar wouldn't come out. He wouldn't say anything. Are you intrigued?
Right. Yes.
Instead, the banging got louder, like a loud thud, thud, thud on glass.
See, now I got to... My mind went dirty. Sorry.
Oh,
Go
dear.
ahead.
So officers assumed that the burglar was trying to escape, that he was trying to open a window and jump out and run away. Hearts pounding, guns ready to fire, they counted down and entered the bathroom. But instead of confronting a suspect, they found a rogue Roomba robot vacuum.
Nice.
That was apparently doing a very thorough job.
I love the Roomba, first off.
Well, I know you do.
I am a Roomba addict. I had the Roomba and the Scuba, so I totally can get that.
So it just, I had to read you that part of the story. It goes on. They all just cracked up in peals of laughter. They were relieved because it wasn't something dangerous. But seriously, how would you feel if you were this guy that called the police? They had 2 canine officers. They had a detective who had just happened to be in the area, a sheriff's officer, all coming in with guns drawn.
This guy has, first off, you got to be able to defend yourself. The guy first off, who's breaking in and going to your bathroom?
Right.
First off.
Right.
They want to make sure their hair is in place before they finish off the rest of the house.
I mean, I guess sometimes people hide money in the bathroom. Sometimes, but like you're in there and you're just making this many like thump 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 and what are they doing in there? What?
Now, in defense of this guy, though, as far as a Roomba goes. I had a Roomba forever, and mine was on a timer. So every morning it would just start up on its own and just go around the house and just clean. And so,
how do you think it got locked in the bathroom, though?
Easy. That's an easy one. So the door is open, and this has happened to me at my house. It goes in the room. It starts vacuuming that room up. It goes behind the door and vacuums behind the door and then goes on down and pushes the door closed. Next thing you know, the Roomba is locked in the bathroom or locked in the bedroom. It has happened to me.
Okay.
I can totally see how it could happen. So in defense of that guy, my only problem is you got to defend that bathroom. You got to at least talk tough to that bathroom door for a second. You come out here, I'm gonna sweep the floor or something.
Okay. See, now this is, since we're all about the bad dad jokes here on the Weird News podcast. Okay. They posted the story on their Facebook page. The sheriff's department did, and people were coming up with all sorts of groan-worthy puns. Like, this one comes from Facebook user Richard Cox. After sweeping the premises, the perpetrator was nabbed. Later, the room was dusted for prints.
Nice.
And then
that's high quality.
That's high quality. And then another, Marty McCluskey, offered a compliment. Great job catching the sucker.
Ooh.
Not bad either.
I'm gonna give it a C minus.
Good, but I'm sure there were other puns that were out there that were just as good and groan-worthy.
If you do not like the vacuum, the Roomba is awesome. And if you have dogs and cats, I'm just going to say,
well,
I got mad love.
If you have dogs and cats, there's so many videos on the internet of cats riding the Roomba.
It does look fun. It's like they're like cat surfing.
I also saw a video of a baby on a Roomba. Like he was sitting in his like little what are those chairs called? Starts with a B, Bumbo chair, and they put that on the Roomba, and the baby was just cruising around the house.
That's totally staged.
No, of course it's staged. They had to put the baby on there.
But I'm like, that has to be one high-powered Roomba to roll around a baby.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
I could see a little Yorkie or Chihuahua on there, or a cat, but no 40-pound kid.
Okay. Well, hey Tate, do you know that old saying, "When life hands you potholes, make a defibrillator"?
No.
That's because it's not really.
I'm like,
saying.
What crowd are you hanging out in? That is just saying that goes around your friends.
That's not really a saying. This story comes to us from Omaha, Nebraska, and there is one man in Omaha, Nebraska, who is grateful for a pothole that was never filled.
First off, isn't this the second story in like 2 weeks or 2 episodes that we've had about someone in Nebraska?
I don't think so.
Vacation.
That was a Nebraska-based company. You're right.
I'm just letting you know.
That was this episode.
There's not a lot of things going in Nebraska. I've been there. It gets a little boring. And so you got to create things that make it lively.
Okay. So, Nebraska is in the middle, somewhere in the middle, right?
It's below your state.
They get some, people don't know my state, but they get some harsh winters, and I'm sure they get a lot of potholders.
Yes.
Potholes. Between March 29th and April 4th, they repaired more than 7,000 potholes, and then they had to repair another 6,000 the next week. So winter was not doing well in Omaha, Nebraska. But this is a story about an ambulance from the town of Gretna outside of Omaha, which was en route to Lakeside Hospital. So they were transporting a patient with a high heart rate to a hospital in Omaha, and when they hit a pothole, his heart rate went back to normal.
He skipped a beat. Wow.
So this is a brief story, but I'm sure that man who was in the hospital or in the ambulance was very grateful to that pothole that kind of reset his heart rate.
Talk about like the crazy concept of butterfly effect, where one thing goes and it creates something around the world later on, like a big tsunami around the world. So one little chips turned into a giant pothole, which then eventually came to save this guy's life, let's just say. Mm-hmm. That is amazing.
So the author of this article did check with a doctor to see if that was even possible. And the doctor said it could happen. He'd never heard of a pothole actually doing the trick, but he said folks with supraventricular tachycardia get a
Whoa. What the heck did you just say? Supercalifragilistic? What?
Supraventricular tachycardia.
Just let that marinate for a second.
This is a podcast. We can't let it marinate. That's just dead air.
A heart problem.
Okay, but he's a doctor. Of course he's going to say the proper term.
Ladies and gentlemen, for us non-doctors, people are having heart issues, let's just say.
Anyway, they get a rapid heart rate, if that helps you.
Okay, yes.
And that can be caused by a lot of things, including a faulty electrical system in the heart, medication, or stimulants. And sometimes when patients with that condition are jolted or startled, their heart rates will return back to normal. So it's the opposite for most of us. When we get jolted or startled, our heart rate goes up. For these folks, it goes back down.
See, what popped in my head is a guy has this issue. He's about to have a heart attack. He's about to pass out. He hits the ground, revives himself. He gets up, gets the sandwich.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go get a sandwich, I think.
I like it.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this episode up. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Weird News Podcast. Join us again next time when we will be talking about Lord only knows what's going to go on in the world between now and then.
I like it.
Have a great week and stay weird.